everyone. Welcome to Panda Pots. I've got my cute little panda friends here with me. My kids are super obsessed with pandas, and why not? They're so cute. So I was so excited to add this little pot to the spring box. What you're going to need today is you're going to need your cream paint. You're going to need this fun little tool that was in your box, and you're also going to need your acrylic paint and paintbrush. And I also grabbed from my recycling a yogurt lid so that I'd be able to squeeze my paint onto this and use it a little more easily. Okay, let's get started on Panda Pots. I'm just going to adjust my camera. So here is the Panda Pot. You can see that I painted the tin can with this cream paint, and actually a really easy way to paint this pot. I squeezed the paint on, and then I took my brush and I just went like this until it was smooth. You can see on this one, I've got 2 coats on here, and I could probably use one more. It's okay if it's not completely even. It just gives the panda bear a little bit more dimension, even when you've got some of those bumpy spots. I mean, panda bears have fur, but I did this one ahead of time so that I could show you how I put the paint on. So I put the first coat on, let it dry completely. It takes under an hour to dry, so you can go and do a few things, then come back to this project. And then I squeezed again over top with this, and I just did a line, sort of a third, and a third, so that I could run the paint across like this, and then like this, and then like this. And actually it's just a process of continuing to do that, just running your paintbrush over top and smoothing it out. Now I'm not going to put the third coat on. I want you to see how it looks even when you can kind of see the tin can through. This one has a bit more coverage, so you can see the difference there. So once your paint has completely dried on your tin can, what you're going to do is you're going to take some of your black acrylic paint. You're not going to need a lot. And if you haven't used these yet, you'll notice that the lid, the lid has a little poker. So you take the lid off, turn it, and then you just poke it, and it'll open your paint for you. And then you're just going to want to dab or squeeze. You want to, you can always add more. You can't get it back in. So just squeeze a little bit out onto your tray. And then what you're going to do with your pot is you make sure this is on top. And then you're just going to decide where you want the face to be. So I'm going to go with right here. And I'm going to start with, so I've got my paintbrush. I'm going to start with the ears, and I'm going to go in the corner, top. I know a circle doesn't really have a corner, but we're going to just say corner. And I'm just going to kind of paint like a little area here, kind of like a circle. Does not have to be a perfect circle though. And then I'm just going to make sure, because when it's sitting on a shelf, I kind of want to be able to see both those ears. So I'm going to come over to this side and do another kind of little circle area. So I've got 2 ears. And then what I want to do is my eyes. And the panda eyes are not super close together. They've got some space. So I'm going to get a little bit more paint. And this is the middle, so it's just above the middle. I'm going to kind of like to dab, because this pot has ridges, and so if I just sort of set my brush and dab, I can make it bigger and bigger and bigger. There's one eye, and then I'm making sure that it kind of lines up for the second eye, and I'll go right about here, and I'm just gonna dab it all the way around until they're the same size. So I need a little bit more paint down here, and I could even go a little lower. And when you're looking on it face on, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to judge. I'm looking at it upside down in the camera, which is a little bit harder, but you know what? It works. I think I could go a little bit higher right here, so I'm just going to dab a little bit higher. All right, and then what I want to do, and these don't have to be exactly the same size, because really with a panda bear, it's their fur that has that black, and so they're not going to be perfectly symmetrical. Now I'm going to put the feet on the bottom, and that's just going to be a little line down here. Oops, get a little bit more. And a little line right here. Made sure that I left enough space in between. Little panda feet. And then on the sides, I'm gonna need his little panda paws. So I'm gonna get some more paint. I'm actually almost kind of running out, so I might need to squeeze a bit more on. I'm gonna come from the side here and I'm just kind of dabbing it to see where I want it and how I want it to look. And you can see even with that dab, it kind of looks like little claws, because it's not perfectly straight. Now with your black, so I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit more on. You might even want to let your black dry completely and then go over top of it for more coverage. It's up to you. I'm just gonna go like this and then do the other side. And they're kind of, the paws are tilting down so that his arms are coming from over here and over here. And I'm just gonna dab. And I can make that longer if I want to. And what's really gonna finish this off is the face, the little mouth. And that is what we need our little, ooh, got butterfingers today, guys. That is what we need our little stick for. And you're gonna wanna make sure that when you use this, that you can get enough paint on the end. It's gonna be like your little pencil. And I like putting my hand inside to move it around. So you're going to do a little nose. And you can see that I'm just dabbing again. And then you're just gonna run that down. Dab, dab, dab. Now, you can see I should maybe add a little bit more on this side now for my nose, and that's a good way to even it out if that happens to you, or you do your line and it's not quite in the middle, then just even it out on the other side. And then I'm gonna make a little smile, and I'm just doing like little dots, and then I can fill it in, make his cute little smile. Now with this panda, he needs his eyes, and I'm not gonna use the cream for his eyes. I'm actually gonna use white. because I think the white will pop out a bit more. So I've got my little tube here, and I'm going to do the same thing I did with the black, which is open it up. I just have to press a little bit harder. So there we go. I'm gonna put a little dab on my tray, not too much, don't need very much. Now, I always suggest when you're painting to make sure everything's completely dry before you go on to the next step. But to save time, I'm going to just do this little part with you. So now with your little tool, you've got black on it. You can just wipe that off. I actually meant to have a little tissue here to do that. So don't do this. This is a little bit out of necessity, but you can wipe it off. I've also used the end of my paintbrush. I actually just like how pointy this is though. I think it gives like a lot of control. And as you can see, no paint's coming off. So anyway, if you have a little cloth, I would suggest you wipe it off with a cloth, not your finger. But hey, maybe you don't and you needed to see that. All right, so I'm gonna put some white paint on the tip of my little wood tool here. I'm gonna go near the top of my eye and I'm just gonna dab it on there. Now, I don't have, you're gonna see what happens when it's not dry. It kind of wants to blend the colors, I guess you would say. So I'm just gonna put a glob there, but see how the eye just really completes the panda. So I definitely suggest that you wait till that dries all the way before you do this step, but then you can just do a little dab of white here. And then you have your two little panda eyes, and you can kind of move that around with your wood tool. Oh, he's so cute. Now, you can see with 2 coats, you can still see the tin can underneath. I still think it's super cute. But if you want to go ahead and do 3 coats and give it a bit more coverage, you can do that as well. You can add some little dots into the ears. Those dots, you could probably even just use your paintbrush for. Mine has black paint on it, but if you wash your brush, and then that's your Panda Pot. Now, you can put some short flowers in here and use it as a vase, or you have soil in your kit that you can, I put it in this envelope so that it wasn't in plastic, but what I would do with this is I would dump this into a big bowl, and then you can just scoop with a spoon into here, and you've got a seed that you can plant, which is really fun, and you can put this in the windowsill and water it and see if your little seed grows in the window. Once you have all your soil in there and you've kind of patted it down, just use your finger to press a hole, drop your seed in, cover it up, and put it in the windowsill. And like always, I love to see what you're creating from my videos and from the kits that you've gotten. So if you do this one and it's finished and you want to show me a picture of where you put it in your house, like if you put it up in the windowsill or you want to leave it on the table with some short flowers in it, please send those to me. Get your family to send those to me because I'd really like to see that. Okay, thank you for joining me for the Panda Pots, and I'll see you on the next project. Bye.